All right, what is going on, Great Lakes Hazel Supply? How is everybody doing? Just finishing getting things ready. And we are live on StreamYard, live on YouTube, and just finishing up the stream here. As you tune in, do me a favor, let me know that you are watching. Let me know where you're watching from. Helps get the word out to some more people. There we are. See the stream. Working on comments. Okay. What is going on, guys? My name is Blake Sanborn with Great Lakes Laser Supply, and we're going to be going live tonight to talk about hat clips. Why is Blake so crazy about hat clips? We're going to get into it. So as you come in, do me a favor. Let me know where you're watching from. Throw it in the comments. What's the weather? It has been absolutely beautiful here in Michigan. What's up, John? What's up, Larry? Ron is here. Ron, how are you? Freddie, what's up, my brother? Very good to see you guys. We have not been live in a hot minute. Things are calming down. We were at AP LaserCon last week, and let me tell you, it was awesome. We had such a good time at AP LaserCon. If you're not familiar with AP Laser, there are some really good people. They make some lasers that are really focused on making memorial items. Because I'm crazy. That's me. Freddie's crazy too. What's up, Janice? How are you doing? What's a hat clip? Is that the right side? No, wrong way. I do the whole thing that Will and Mark do, pointing at each other. I need to work on that. But I hope you guys are doing well. AP LaserCon was a blast. It was great to see some friends. Got to see John, Crystal, Stephanie, the whole AP Laser team. We made some brand new friends, met tons of people, and I found myself explaining the hat clip, explaining the concept behind the hat clip, and I wanted to just really relay a lot of that information that I was going over and over again. Southeast Missouri. Thank you, Mindy. Bubba's watching from West Texas. We were down in Texas for AP LaserCon. It was beautiful. Good to see that Texas weather again. I lived there for about 6 years, and I kind of missed that weather. It was nice and hot. There was one day on the first night I decided to be a good idea to walk back to my hotel. Not a good idea. I was regretting it the next day. My feet were sore. But so if you guys are watching this even in post, make sure if you're watching this later on, even throw in the comments. Let me know where you're watching from. I love still interacting with the comments that come in after the fact. So make sure you throw that in there. And so what I found myself talking about over and over again with hat clips, and just to maybe even back it up a little bit, is why I'm passionate about the hat clip, because it's so simple, quick, and easy. David, you should probably take some notes. Because it's so quick and easy. I think the fundamentals that you can work through figuring out how to engrave, sell, ship, and all of the aspects of your business with a hat clip can be applied to so many other products. What's up, Alan? How are you doing? So you can take those simple things. What if somebody orders one hat clip? How much do you charge? How much do you charge for shipping? What if they order 20 hat clips? What if they order 100? What if they order 1,000? So those are all so many different things that you got to figure out in your business, but then can be applied to other products, whether that's some wood with dual tie on it from David or something like that. But so I just want to go over some of the things that I talked about with people with hat clips, so that we can watch this. We can talk about it. I've been talking about BNI lately. I don't know if you saw my post today or yesterday, but I've been talking about BNI a lot, and kind of the same reason that I'm passionate about BNI is because by going to BNI, what's up, Christopher? You can practice your pitch in front of a group of people that is captive, and they can give you feedback. This is what they do every single week. This is the sole marketing for their businesses typically is BNI. And what Business Networking International is a group of people that get together once a week it's early, like Crystal said. Typically they meet at 7 a.m. Um, and even if you don't join a BNI, the benefits from going a couple of times, you don't have to join to be able to attend. You can go practice your pitch and some notes. I'm kind of jumping all over the place, but we'll just stick with BNI since I'm there now. Is you're going to take 1 to 3 products, whether that's a hack clip or something else. You're not going to go to a BNI and tell them your pitch and say, I can laser engrave everything. People sitting there, they're not going to come up and they're not going to order anything from you. They're going to be confused. They're not going to know what you can or can't do. So you're going to take, let's say, a hack clip, a wallet, a hat. You're going to bring 3 products and you're going to dial in the pitch for your business with just those 3 products. And one of my favorite things to do for BNI is to bring some of those items already made for the people there at BNI. When you sign up for BNI, you can ask for a list. When they email you, ask for a list of the attendees. You're going to get their logo, you're going to get their business name, and you're going to pre-make a couple of your items, whatever that is. You're going to bring it to BNI. And you have to give a 30-second commercial for yourself and your business. And when I do that, I would bring something like this hat clip, and I would say, this is for Frontline Church. And I would say, hey, I do customized items, I do hats, I do wallets, and I do hat clips. And I'm going to stick to those 3 things. And then I may touch briefly on what these items are going to be for. So we've got a side engraved hat clip here. This actually goes on your polo. It's for branding. And then the cool thing is, kind of an upsell as well, is you're going to flip that hat clip over, and that's got a QR code that's going to go to their website. And when you show the products that you've already customized for the people there, you made them just one. They're never going to want one hat clip, one wallet, one hat. They're going to want more. So typically at the end of this at a BNI, you're going to have 5, 6 people in line to talk to you after those presentations have finished because you've struck a nerve. They want something unique for marketing their business. You have this hat clip on you. You don't need a business card. You can scan the back. And what some companies do, not only do they have me put their website on here, but it just goes to like a data collection. So let's say there is a lawn maintenance company. They get these on their whole yard maintenance crew, and every one of their guys has one of these on their hats. So when neighbors stop by, hey, what do you guys do? How much does it cost? They can scan this QR code, and instead of going to their website, it's going to go to a spot where they can put in their name, their address, their phone number, and then that gets them in connection with the sales team, and they're able to contact those customers right away. So I've had somebody, what's up, Cheyenne? How are you? And so that's going to make that transition, whether they're not even calling a number, they're not even going to a website. It's just going to give them all the important information to get that customer potential quote. So these are the types of things that you're going to talk about at a BNI, where you're marketing the product. It's already made for them. And typically at a BNI, I'm going to have a higher minimum order quantity. And because like with business cards, I have an minimum order of 100 business cards so that they are ordering decent sized orders from you. So you can go to one BNI, and I'm not a member. You can go 2-3 times to a BNI, kind of make some of these sales, and you're able to kind of continue to attend and get to know people. But I'll circle back maybe in a month and a half, 2 months, and I'll go back to that same BNI again but I already have those connections without having to attend BNI every time. I'm kind of lucky in Grand Rapids. I have my choice of 20 different BNIs in the area. Side note, I am picking somebody to get a free mixed pack of hack clips at the end of tonight's live. I try to keep these short to about 30 minutes, so we'll be done here at about 9:15, and I'll be picking somebody to get a free mixed pack of hack clips. So we talked about BNI, what it is, how to pitch your product, or to pitch your product, and keep it short so that you're able to talk about some of the products like this with them and pitch that to them. And then after you develop some of those relationships with people, you can start to talk about other products that you may have to offer or they may need. Big part of BNI is having lunch with people. So you're going to collect all the business owners that are there, which is one painter, one mechanic, one lawn maintenance, one realtor, one insurance agent. There's only one person in each type of business. So you would be the apparel person or the promotional items person in that group. So kind of after you get to know them, Then you can add in some of your other products. But focusing on those three things that first time you go allows you to really, for them to understand what you do without scaring them away. What's up, Hannah? I see those hearts. Because when you just say I can customize things, people don't know what you actually do. So that's not going to lead to those hot conversations. So it's really important. Get the information ahead of time so you can go prepared. Definitely another thing is joining a chamber. That's also a way to get your name out there. 100%, Freddie. For the first Michigan Maker Summit, I joined 2 different chambers. I took advantage of having that ribbon cutting, got us in the newspaper. It was really nice opportunity with the local chamber leading up. What's up, Brian Goldberg? Good to see you again. Corey, how are you doing? Good to see you. So we've kind of touched on BNI, what it is, how to utilize it. And even if you only have one in your area and you don't want to spend, it's about, I don't know what the current price is, but it's typically about $1,500 a year. And if you follow the process, which is going every single week, and you're developing the people that are there to be your sales team. So if somebody says, hey, I need a lawn care, you're going to be recommending that lawn care person. If they need a painter, you're going to reference the BNI group. And then the same thing, if they know somebody else that needs promotional items, then you're going to be the promotional item person. And you can kind of get a taste for free by going a couple of times and finding a group that's going to fit in with you, because these are going to be people you're going to see every single week if you do join a BNI. So a little bit about BNI, a little bit about hack clips and why I'm passionate about them. Feel free, if you guys have any, as I finish talking about hack clips, want to ask any questions, concerns, or other, let me know. Who is David? That's a good question. Who is David? I don't know. But a little more about hack clips and why I am so passionate about them. You can, I recently saw somebody talking about the magnetic cutting board that holds knives from MakerFlow, which is awesome. And I'll even touch on maybe a little bit of a strategy that I shared on Facebook about that. But, that's a pretty expensive blank. When you're talking about those, those expensive, and I don't even know the price point on those. Hannah, if you happen to know, or somebody knows what the MakerFlow magnetic cutting board costs. But when you're trying to, even just to make something to demonstrate and show people, my strategy was something like that, is to post on my personal Facebook, hey guys, I got a new product. I've got these cutting boards that are also magnetic and hold your knives. I'm going to run a discount on them, so I have the ability to make some content and take some pictures. Is anybody interested? So you're going to post that on your personal Facebook. Not only are you going to have the opportunity to make some money off of your sample piece, but you're going to drum up some other business as well. Other people in the comments are going to see, wow, that's really cool. I want to get one of those. And that can also help you figure out, your pricing strategy on something like that. So that way, I saw a lot of the comments on Facebook about that MakerFlow board, people suggesting making one and giving it away. That's just profit out of your pocket. That's straight cost out of your pocket, rather than having an opportunity to actually sell that practice product that you're making. I've done the same thing with hack clips. Do I have any friends locally who would be interested in having their local on a hack clip for a discount? Now, I'm not telling them how much that is. So, you get to kind of set what is that discount? Is it 10% off, 20% off? And that just helps to get your name out there on some of the items that you make with things like that. Hey, Anita, how are you? Good to see you. Dawn, if I didn't say hi, hello. Let us know where you guys are watching from when you're here. So we've touched on BNI, hack clips, $69.95. Wow. Yeah, that is a lot. So it's a pretty cool item. That's really, really cool. And it's something I would have fun kind of engraving and making for people. But so that's $70 that people were suggesting that this person on Facebook would just engrave and give away to somebody so that they were able to take pictures and make content where, oh, thank you, Hannah. Instead of, being able to sell that product. So let's say you're going to, maybe $140. Let's just say that's my price point on that. And I post that on my Facebook and I say, hey, I'm going to give a discount on this. Maybe you're still able to sell it for $100. And plus, you're going to drum up some additional sales by even just that post on Facebook offering to give a discount on something like that. that'll just kind of help you give an idea. How many of those should you order and have on hand? Anita is in East Tennessee. So I like that I thought about that Maker Flow post because it really kind of ties into what I've been talking about. I my passion is selling you guys some things, but helping you more than anything. I want you to buy a hat clip, and I want you to be successful selling that hat clip. My goal is for us to grow in business together. That's our Great Lakes motto: is growing in business together. Just keep that in mind. I'm not out here just trying to sell you something and leave you hanging. If you ever need any help, I'm always available. Post in the group, questions, concerns. Don't forget, we are giving away a free mixed pack at the end. We are shooting to finish this up in about 15 minutes here. So some other reasons why I am so passionate about a hat clip. It's a great comparison, that Maker Flow board, because that's $70 for that blank. Buy a 10 pack of these, they end up to be about $219 each. It's quick, it's easy, it's comparable to other, you can dial in your settings on a business card that are pennies. So they engrave very easily. There's so many things that you can figure out, and they're so versatile. This is something that you can market to baseball teams. You get these on a kids team, and then other kids teams hear about them and see them. Then they're following up to order more hat clips from you, and your business just kind of grows that way. Remember, to everyone, don't undersell yourself. Anything custom will be more valuable. I can't read the whole thing. Will be more valuable than anything generic. That's how we should be pricing our items. I agree, Freddie. I think a lot of people undervalue what they're doing. Even as far as a hat clip goes, we retail these at a craft show for $11 a piece. Do I have them laying there on my table for $11? I tried that. It didn't work because people didn't know what a hat clip was. You got to show them what a hat clip is, and you got to give it value. So we now have a 7-foot hat wall where all the hats on the wall already have a hat clip on them. So people are in our booth, they walk up, yank that hat off the hat wall, and they come up to purchase it. They're getting a hat with a hat clip and a custom patch. Well, the patch is already made, but we're selling that for $36 for a hat and a hat clip. You're increasing your margins on your hat by 40% just by throwing this easy, quick hat clip on that hat. And again, you've got to get it in your customers' hands so they can see what it does. A lot of people ask what we put on our hat clips. At a craft show, we've got Second Amendment stuff, we've got snarky sayings, and we've got hunting and fishing. We take those same 12 designs, we have the same thing engraved on the hat clips as our belts, as our ammo cans, as the hats. And then people come up and the wallets, and they mix and match. So they'll grab that hat off the hat wall. Hey, do you want the hat clip that's already on the hat, or do you want to swap it out for a different one? And most of the time, depending what's on there, they just end up snagging, the hat clip that's already on there. I don't usually put the same one on the same hat engraving. It's usually a little bit different. And that's how we've generated those sales with the hat clips, by really getting it in the customer's hands so they can see it, get hands on it, and they see the value that you're bringing. So we talked about baseball teams. Now let's talk about business to business a bit. And then I know I got sidetracked with BNI. That's kind of the business to business strategy, and that's how I get it out there. But also, if you have another business that has placed an order with you already, whether it's hats or anything else, I'm going to bring a hat clip with me when I deliver that order. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to have their logo on the front and a QR code on the back. And I'm going to give that to them. If an employee is standing at the counter, hey, I got this cool new hat clip. You want to throw this on your hat? Employee throws it on there. You're going to get a phone call, maybe a couple days later, maybe a week later, and they're going to ask you what in the world you gave their employee, and then they're going to order more of those from you. And again, so you're going to upsell. So adding on that QR code on the back is going to cause you to be able to bring more value and charge more money for that final product. So that, in a nutshell, is most of what I wanted to talk about as far as the hat clip goes. You get a lot of different opportunities and different options. If I see a business where they're not wearing hats, then that's when I'm gonna, throw it sideways like that. And then you've got branding on any shirt that you're wearing, regardless if they're wearing a hat or whatever. Freddie says he's been selling them for $8 a clip. I guess I better raise them dogs up. And it does vary. So, and there's going to be different pricings depending on what you're doing. At a craft show in person, $11 all day long. I'll have people, and I it's crazy. People will come in and buy hat clip. Hey, can you make a different one for me? Boom, another $11 for this simple $2.19 hat clip. You're charging $11. I was going to talk about quantities and pricing. So at a craft show, $11 on a hat. And then business to business, I'm going to give them that first one, give them that taste of a hat clip for free. And then when they start ordering those, it is going to be a little bit lesser price business to business, because typically you're putting the same front engraving and the same QR code on all those. And if you get your jigs from a live pixel, you're able to very efficiently knock those out. So your pricing is going to go down. So business to business, I'm going to be closer to $6 to $8, depending on the quantity that they order. And I'm always going to give good, better, best options when it even comes to hat clips. Let's say they say, I want 20 hat clips. I'm going to give them a price for 20, and I'm going to make 30 hat clips look pretty attractive. But I'm also then, the best option is going to be adding on that QR code. Oh, for 25 cents more, 50 cents more, $1 more, however you have your system set up for pricing, you're going to upsell again to add on that QR code from them. So when you give that quote to the customer, you can get, let's say they said they wanted 10, you're going to say, hey, for 10, it's going to be, $9 each per hat clip. But if you wanted to do 20 hat clips, 30 hat clips, then we're going to bump that price down, and I could do $7 a hat clip. Or maybe you go, you figure out your pricing, so you're also then including, an upsell option for that QR code. Larry says he does $8 for pre-made and $10 for custom. That's decent pricing. How much do you sell the hat with the hat clip? I know you've told me this before. So the hat with the hat clip we sell for $36, and with our hydro hats we bump that up another $10. So there's some really good margins to be made on hats at craft shows. That's definitely a hot seller. That's another good, better, best option. You got your hat for 25. You got a hat with a hat clip for 36, or you can get a hydro with a hat clip for $46. Always good, better, best. My hat press finally gets here tomorrow. We'll be starting hat clips once I get the hats dialed in. That's from Chris. I always think about your good, better, best advice when I'm pricing stuff. That's awesome. It really applies to so many different things, whether you're making earrings and ornaments. I recently talked with somebody who was doing nightlight covers, maybe they would be called. And he's like, I don't know how I could apply that to what I'm doing. I've got okay sales, but I feel like they could be better. And we went over the same thing. Single layer, good. Multi-layer, better. Best is going to be painted, or, something along those lines. So you can take the good, better, best strategy and truly apply it to any product line, no matter what you make or sell. So keep that in mind. And someone told me that they have them on their hats, and it's a $36 hat. So they're charging $36 for the hats with a hat clip. And it's not like the customer could not get one if they wanted to, but it's just $36 for the hats that they have. And they've had success with that as well. Brian says, I saw some folks engrave the edge on them as well. Brian, that's a good point. I am terrible about talking about the edge engraving. And I've seen that most popular for like little league teams. You put the team logo there, you put the kid's name on the edge, and maybe their number on the bottom. But you've got 3 engraving opportunities for an upsell just on the hat clip there. And I love the edge engraving. I don't do it far enough I don't even have a good reason for why I don't, but definitely recommend that. About 4 minutes here, we'll give away a free mixed pack of hat clips. And again, if you're watching this in the post, don't forget, you can still throw in the comments. Let me know where you're watching from. If you have questions, concerns, or other, I love going back tomorrow, the next day, and still having good conversations here in the comments of the video. Going live more often like this during the week. My goal is just to keep those 30 minutes long, start at 8:45 Eastern and finish up at 9:15 p.m. Eastern time. So if you ever have any topics, things you want to talk about, feel free to post that in the group, and you know I'll cover some of those things. But sales strategy, BNI, hat clips, those all came up over and over again at AP LaserCon. So I figured it would just be a good subject just to dive into. There were a lot of new laser owners there at LaserCon, and we were just talking about, they didn't know where to get started. When you're walking around somewhere like that, if you're at Next Level Laser Conference and you're walking around, it's overwhelming because you're thinking, oh, I can do tumblers, I can do earrings, I can do ornaments, I can do hats, I can do hat clips, I can do wallets. There's all these endless possibilities. But to really be successful in the beginning, you need to focus on 1 to 3 items so that you can figure out all of those hurdles that you've got to get over before you just start telling everybody that you can laser everything. What do you typically link the QR code to? Business card, URL, Instagram, or social media? That's a good question, Brian. So if I am just giving this to a business and I'm dropping it off, I'm always just going to put their logo on the front and their website on the back. There are times where I didn't think I was going to be able to talk to a business owner or something like that. So I actually have also put their logo on the front and my QR code on the back. So when somebody was trying to figure out where that hat clip came from, they'd scan that QR code and it would come to my contact information. If you join BNI, does that apply to all chapters, or do you have to join each chapter like chambers? You, I believe there is multi-location memberships, but it kind of defeats the purpose of the BNI a little bit. You're really growing that tight-knit group of people that are at that one chapter. So not only do you see them every week, but you're scheduling a one-on-one with somebody every week. So whether you're leaving BNI, going to get lunch, or doing something later on, you're really building those relationships right there in that BNI. So I have heard people ask while I was there before, and I believe, like, let's say you're going to be visiting somewhere, you wanted to attend, you are able to attend, but the goal is you're building a sales force for your business. So those relationships at that one location are really going to be key. And I think Linktree is a good option for the QR code because that does give you an option to have them be able to pick, what are they going to do? What are they going to go to from there? Freddie's got a Linktree, all of his socials, websites, and email. It would be a great business card with a QR code. Yeah, for sure. And that's some of the best feedback I've got are from the BNI types of people or service-based businesses where they have these on their whole crew. So their crews have that information handy. So that's awesome, Dawn. And I probably have 20. So my strategy, I am not a member of BNI. My strategy is to visit them every other month, every 3 months. I'll go 2 or 3 times and then circle back at a later time. But I'll go in talking about just 3 products, build some instant sales, business cards, hat clips, hats. And then I'll maybe go that next week because after the second or third time, they really encourage you to join if they have an opening for your business. So I just circle back, later on and I do it again. That way I don't have to join a BNI. It's especially as we transition more to Great Lakes Laser Supply and doing less one-on-one laser engraving. It's just not necessarily a part of our strategy, what we're doing right now. But I do still attend and we still do craft shows because I still want to be able to give you guys real world advice, speaking from, being out there and knowing that I'm experiencing the same thing you guys are. I'm able to see what's catching the customer's eyes. Are they confused about what a hat clip is? So the things that I'm telling you are from experience and not just things that I'm pulling out of my butt. But we are almost out of time. If you guys got any questions or comments you want to throw in there, feel free to throw them in. Again, if you're watching this later on, throw those questions in there still, and we'll interact and talk in the comments. We talked a lot about BNI, hat clips. Anything I said doesn't make sense, let me know. I'm happy to talk more about it. Janice says, I used to be in BNI and I travel. I would see if there was a traveling to see if there's a BNI there, and I'd visit there and keep it in my current BNI. Oh, that's cool. That's a good idea. Ginger says BNI helped her launch her embroidery business. That's awesome. Um, so in restaurants, I'll tell a quick story and why I am so passionate about BNI or marketing groups like this is I used to run Joe's Crab Shacks in Texas, and we were a newer company at the time because we were purchased by an investment firm. And the goal for the company was to be up in sales. Whether you were up in sales by $1 or $50,000, it didn't really matter, especially for like the bonus structure that they had in place. So one of my strategies is I would take over a new restaurant in 6 years. I was a GM at about 7 locations, or at those 7 different locations, and I would coordinate with BNI or local marketing groups, and I would have them meeting in my restaurant. So I would give them all free kids meal coupons. I'd give them 10% off their lunch, so they'd have their meeting in the morning, and then they would eat lunch afterwards. So part of my growth strategy in restaurants to be up in sales was utilizing BNI to meet in my restaurants. So that's kind of where my BNI journey started, and then I've just kind of stayed involved over the years because I think it's something that I really believe in. They also do training and coaching. One of the last times I stopped in at BNI, they were training on developing your pitch. Definitely something I'd like to talk more about with you guys so you can dial in your pitch. So there's just a clear vision of what your business is. Let me copy out the current list of names and throw them into a spinny wheel. There we go. This is hard to do while I'm still talking. What are your guys' plans for the week? What are you working on? Any projects? I have got new hat clips designs. I've been working on Adobe Illustrator on some new designs I'm hoping to launch by the end of the week. Some new UV prints that people have been asking for. All right. I swear Facebook makes this harder and harder. All right. There we go. We are spinning. All right. Congratulations, Mindy. Minnie Sinning. If you are watching, congratulations, Mindy. You got yourself a free pack of hat clips. Shoot Molly if you know Molly's information, or shoot me a message and I will send me your address. I am sending you a message now. But if you're watching this, go ahead and send me your address, and I will get you that pack of hacks. Congratulations! Thank you for being here. I appreciate you guys watching and engaging and commenting. I really do appreciate you guys. We had a blast at AP LaserCon, and our next conference is going to be the Next Level Maker Conference. And if you guys are going to be there, it is going to be a good time. David and I have got some serious fun things planned. It's going to blow you guys out of the way. The Next Level Maker Conference is going to be a good time. What's up, Will? I forgot. Will and Mark were there. It was so nice hanging out with Will and Mark at AP LaserCon. We had no responsibilities. Sorry, I'll catch up on the comments after, Freddie. But it was so nice to be able to hang out with Will and Mark. We didn't have anything to go do, no conference to worry about, no technical issues. We just got to be innocent bystanders, or I don't know, maybe that's the wrong thing to say, but we didn't have any responsibilities, so it was really great. But thank you guys again for all being here. I really genuinely do appreciate you. Let's keep on growing in business together. Throw anything in the comments and I'll answer those after the fact. Thank you guys. Have a good night.